You know that game you play where the ending has a cliffhanger ending, or an ending where you know, okay, they're going to do something with this sequel, and the next installment is announced, and the announcement isn't what you were expecting, or dare I say, wanted. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. In my opinion, and I want to discuss this with the community so we can engage on this topic, right? Ghost of Tsushima could have had a direct sequel. Now, Ghost of Yotai may be a game which is canon in the existing timeline, but bruh, the way Ghost of Tsushima ended, and this includes both endings by the way, they definitely had a story there. But before I continue, spoiler alert. Jin Sakai, right? So the main protagonist, at the conclusion of the epic battle with his uncle, he had a decision. Let his uncle live or kill his uncle. The reasoning for this was because the Shogun thought his action, well, you know when he won against the Emperor, right? So they deemed that it wasn't deemed honorable. An example of that was when he used poison to win the battle against the Emperor. So, at the end, if you choose to let Jin's uncle live, Jin's uncle, paraphrasing, said something along the lines of, the Shogun will hunt Jin down, right? And I'm sure they'll be more annoyed at the fact that Jin's uncle didn't kill Jin, so they definitely won't be chuffed with that. Like, this would have been a great sequel starting plot, right? Because it's clear the Shogun will go after Jin, and it would have been a case of Jin versus the Shogun, but also Jin versus the Shogun and his uncle. Imagine how crazy that would have been. I mean, Jin is now deemed the Ghost of Tsushima, right? And he was building his own tribe. So it would have been his tribe versus the Shogun and Jin's uncle. That would have been crazy to witness. I think that would have been so crazy, man. The other option would have been to kill Jin's uncle, right? So when you make a decision, you had to let his uncle live, or you can kill Jin's uncle. And if you see Jin's emotion at the end, he breaks down in tears when he kills his uncle. This also would have been a great story because Jin could have formed the tribe to go after the Shogun for putting him and his uncle in that position of battling, ultimately killing his uncle. The Shogun equally would have gone after Jin for his action for dishonoring the Shogun, right? And I just think that would have been so crazy if both parties were just going at each other on a collision course, right? Either way, there was an opportunity. The only tricky thing that I could foresee is a fan base would have been upset because I imagine only one of the decisions would have been canon, right? So obviously if you pick to kill the uncle, or if you let him live, someone's not going to be happy. One of the fan bases are going to be happy, right? Now, this may be a direct sequel Sucker Punch revisit in the future, or maybe they're going to take the GTA route and have their own story for each game. And look, I am glad there is another Ghost of Tsushima, but I suppose it would, in my opinion, I suppose it would have been good to conclude the original story. Because in my opinion, I don't think Jin's story is finished. And if there is reference to Jin in the new game, mentioning the aftermath of the Shogun, etc., it would have been good to witness that as a game rather than through dialogue in another game. I am glad they're doing another Ghost of Tsushima though, as I've said, but yeah, it would have been good to continue Jin's story. But maybe in the future, we'll see.